forget, as they were blown off the floor tonight in the ATLs, they lost 6 straight contests down here in Atlanta, which is very, very strange. But they're going to try to bounce back in Miami on Tuesday night as they begin this road trip with an L. And we welcome everybody to Toyota Warriors Post-Game Live with the Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, NBA champion Festus Zeeley. I am Bonte Hill. Mully says it all the time. Got to get out to a great start in the first quarter. They give up 40 in the opening frame as Atlanta shot 60% in that first quarter.
Atlanta's offense was on and popping from the start of the game. All right, the Warriors, there was no resistance defensively against them. Trae Young is one of the best offensive scorers in the NBA. All right, they let him get downhill, let him get into the paint. He got guys like Okongwu, Ricochet, he had Daniel Dyson. All these guys got going because of Trae Young's impact. And as soon as he got them going, then he got going in the second half. And it was just a hard night to stop the Atlanta Hawks after this.
Yeah, we talked pregame of what a great offensive team this Hawks team is, averaging 117 points per game, all fueled by Trae Young. His ability to drive the basketball, get to the free throw line, knock down three-point shots, find his bigs for lobs. And Bonte, the first quarter, you said they scored 40 points. Not just the score, but they established their rhythm and flow of the game. In turn, these are back-to-back games now where the Warriors field goal percentage defense tonight, 57% from the field, 42 from three-point range. Those numbers, those efficiency numbers are going to get you beat every night.
So the Warriors dropped to 12-22 when trailing after the first quarter of this season. On the road, they're now 5-12 when trailing after one. And really the first half, you look at the numbers, they were fortunate to be down 12, but Atlanta scores 69 in that opening half. They shoot 60% for the first half, 65% in that first quarter. So they got everybody rolling. Now Okongwu set the tone in that first half, 18, 6, and 5.
Whew, man, everything you wanted the Warriors to do, which is go attack the paint. You're talking about Jonathan Kuminga, Jimmy Butler. It just seemed like the Warriors were playing on the perimeter the whole time. I mean, the field goal percentage for the night, they were 57% from the three-point, from the field goal all night long. 60 in the first half and 50 in the second half. This is what you don't want to see. Rebound percentage, rebound numbers right now, 46-38. They were dominant on all facets of the game. And then you thought the bench for the Warriors were going to come in and take over the game. They did in the first half, second half, the Atlanta bench take over as well.
Yeah, but he mentioned, I thought the Warriors were fortunate to be down by 12 at halftime, but climbing uphill all night long catches up to you at the end. We talked pregame also about the benches. This is a really good bench, probably the biggest challenge for the Warriors in a long time. Yep. Those bench points, 49-35 advantage Atlanta Hawks. A huge game by George Niang.
Niang, 18 points in the second half. He got rolling, making 6 threes all in that second half. So the bench points goes Atlanta's way. The points in the paint goes Atlanta's way. And really the Warriors were never into it. As Trae Young set a tone in that first quarter as well. He was picking and popping. He dropped his numbers. A double-double for Trae Young, 25 points, 10 assists. He gets to the free throw line 7 times. And a very efficient 9-15, Mully.
Big-time efficiency. And Trae Young is a dynamic offensive player. He's got a little Steph Curry to his game. He also have a little Luka Doncic because he can get in the lane and find his big for lobs. But the fact that you got to meet him at half court creates so much spacing. And tonight, he's usually not this efficient, but these floaters are tough shots. He hit a big-time clutch floater late in the fourth quarter as well.
I mean, what you love about these games is these are playoff-type atmospheres for the Warriors, and you have to figure out a way to get your offense and your defense started in the first quarter. You can't let teams settle into the game. This is the 7th team in the East. That's the Atlanta Hawks, and you're going against them feeling like it could be an easy cakewalk. But no, the Atlanta Hawks are in the last month, since February 1st, they're averaging up,
117 a game.
117 a game. They're 3rd offensive team in the NBA right now. And so with that, you got to understand that you have to shut that off early, because if you don't, late in the game, they could not get stops to really take the hump over this game.
Yeah, again, getting off to that first quarter start is so important, because once these guys get going, then all of a sudden, tough shots become easy for them. In turn, the Hawks get 6 plays in double figures. We talked about their efficiency numbers, and a lot of it due to that first quarter outburst where they all gained their confidence.
And the Warriors end up scoring 115 without Steph and Curry, so defensively really did to him. It's something we chronicled, but they weren't getting great shots in the first quarter as well. The Warriors were getting paint resistance by the Hawks in the first quarter, and then just settling for the three-point shot in that first half. It felt like they were living and dying by the three-point shot in the first half.
Yeah, but the success for the Warriors offensively offensively is you have to get inside. The beauty of Jimmy Butler being added to the Warriors offense is the fact that when he gets the ball on the block and that threat of him being on the block, being double teamed, he kicks it out to wide open Quentin Post, Moses Moody, Brandon Pajemskis. I thought the Warriors first half, the offense did not help itself at all. They didn't get by the defenders to even create shots for each other. Kind of settled for some bad shots. Only had 11 assists in the first half. That's a rough offense for the Warriors. They never really could recover. Every time they try to make a run, it's just like you talk about the basketball gods. When they try to make a run, I feel like Atlanta was already doing so many good things in the first half. It just carried over to the second half. They can never really get over that hump.
Yeah, and the Warriors shot the three ball pretty well. They made, what did they make, 16 threes?
16 to 38, 42%
right?
from the three.
The Hawks, they made 10 more field goals.
Yeah.
So it gets back to the defense. Those efficiencies. We talked about Toronto. They shot 56% from the field, 42 from three. Now tonight, the Hawks shoot 57 from the field and 42 from three.
Paint points in that first half, 40 to 22 for Atlanta. So Jimmy Butler ended up having a very good game. You look at the box score there, you say, wow, Jimmy Butler, 25 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 10 of 14 from the free throw line. But it was the others off of Jimmy Butler that didn't have a great night. So, but he still gets his numbers, but the Warriors dropped to 16 and 3 when he plays in a game for the Dubs.
Bonte, you need everybody, all hands on deck. Steph Curry is not playing right now. And so with Steph being out, this is going to be a different offense, all right? You got to play the game in a different way. Everybody has to be on attack mode. When you get the ball, you can't wait for people to figure out what they're going to do. You got to cut to the rim. When Jimmy gets the ball on the block, you got to find ways. And another big thing for the Warriors is trying to figure out how to score when Jimmy Butler is not in the game. This is why Jonathan Kuminga's presence is so important. He's the only other guy on the team that has that same kind of ability to get to the rim. And when he can do that effectively and be able to create shots for others, that's when this offense is really going to be flowing. Steph's not in right now, so you got to find ways to create offense with him being out.
I feel like I'm Festus Ezeli because I keep talking about defense.
Let's go. Let's go.
115 points where the Warriors shoot 46% from the field, 42 from three. That's plenty. The Hawks average 117. They get 124. And we talk about those efficiency numbers. 57% from the field on the road. You're not going to win a game on the road when you give up that type of efficiency numbers.
And that only goes 11 of 18 from the free throw line, shooting just 61%. But it was their bench that made the difference tonight. Brandon Pajemskis got off to a strong start. And look, it's a good thing and a good sight for the Golden State Warriors that he has his 3 ball rolling right now. 5 of 8 from 3. He entered the game in his last 2, going 7 of 14 from the 3-point line. So shooting well above 50% in his 3 games since returning from the back injury that forced him to miss 5 games. But it was the defense that the Warriors will look at. But still, an overall solid stat line for Pods Fezzi. 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Yeah, Pods as a point guard, ball handler, I thought he was phenomenal tonight. I thought Pods did a great job really trying to resuscitate the Warriors' offense. Hit a lot of shots late in the shot clock, really trying to create his own shot. But what I think is going to be really key is finding ways to create shots for other guys. Because the bench, Moses Moody, Brandon Pajemskis, I said I wanted Quentin Post to get 5 threes tonight. I think he ended up with 3. These are the things that are going to be really important because you have a lot of points to fill up for make up for with Steph's absence.
Paz looked great, and I thought similar to the Hawks, he got off to a great start. That first 3-point shot was a catch and shoot wide open 3. Saw that first one go in. All of a sudden, he's making sidestep off the dribble shots. So he got off to a good start. He played a really good game. I can't help but think, you know, obviously Steph Curry did not play tonight. This was an up-and-down game.
Right.
You know, Steph might have dropped 60 tonight.
Ooh, he did last season in a loss against Atlanta, 141 and 134 in overtime. We did take the over when we take a look at the odds. So we were kind of smiling tonight. We didn't take the Dubs. They were favored by 2.5 here. But JK coming off the bench. And, again, the spotlight is on him. Obviously, he has a contract due at the end of the season. He'll be a restricted free agent. He missed 31 games. The Warriors were rolling. He's trying to get back here. His 6th game since returning. And he's trying to get his legs back here. He had a monster first half, 16 points. But again, that was all in the first half. No impact in the second half for JK. What are you seeing from Jonathan Kuminga in his return from the Dubs?
Yeah, good first half. But you know what, Bonte? Again, the offense was not the problem. Tonight, coming into this game, we talked about somehow containing, taking away some things from Trae Young so he can't dictate the entire outcome of the game. And I thought they didn't do a good job of that. I thought Trae Young, from the start of the game, dictated everything that went on. When the game got close, he was making all the plays, obviously getting 5 of his other teammates in double figures, finding guys for open shots. But I just thought from the start of the game, they needed to really get physical with him and throw multiple defenders. I thought towards the end of the second quarter, they did a good job of double teaming him, but he recovered in the second half. So I got to give the game ball to Trae Young. I thought he did everything tonight. And defensively, I thought the Warriors should have did a better job on him.
I mean, J.K. he had an incredible first half. 16 points in the first half coming off the bench. That's huge for the Warriors. All those points are really important because a lot of those came when Jimmy Butler was on the bench. And him being able to attack, that's incredible. Second half, the Warriors' offense, I'll stick with the offense because I thought the Warriors' offense got stagnant. They didn't make the Atlanta Hawks play defense enough. They didn't move them from side to side enough. All they did, Atlanta, they would just get the ball, get the defensive rebound, and just run back at the Warriors. They were playing in transition the whole time. They were playing downhill. I thought the Warriors were on the defense the most of the game as opposed to being on the offensive.
I mean, it's obvious, but when you don't have Steph, all of a sudden you take that weapon out. For the Hawks, it's a little bit easy to game plan. Now I think, you know, if you're the Atlanta Hawks, they're going to go to Jimmy Butler to create everything. Right. So it's strictly Jimmy Butler, then someone else. When you got Steph and Jimmy out there, it's a lot harder to defend that group.
So bench points in the first half. Warriors are leading that category 24-20 in the first 2 quarters. In the second half, 29-11 Atlanta. So defensively, obviously being the issue here. And you may not have Steph for a couple more games. We don't know yet until we see that MRI on Monday. So defensively, what is the game plan going against Miami, where they have some guys like Tyler Hero and Andrew Wiggins here? Because defense has been an issue the past 2 games.
Well, no, you saw in stretches where the Warriors would be able to get stops and they would run. But tonight, they didn't do it enough collectively. Georges Niang came into the game. Yep. This has to be a career high from the three-point line. He was 6 for 9 from 3. Like, he did an incredible job of just getting wide open threes. If we play the tapes right now, it would be Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, or Karis LeVert getting into the paint in the second half, really running downhill in transition and being wide. They'd be covered by Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and they would just kick it to the wing for a wide open Georges Niang, and he just kept getting these shots over and over and over. The Warriors have to find ways to create those type of shots for each other, and I think that is also going to help the defensive end as well.
Yeah, and I would say point of attack defense. You know, and it's a lot easier said than done with a guy like Trae Young because you got to pick him up so far at half court. But him getting into the paint consistently, shooting his floater. He made some threes. He got to the free throw line 7 times. So you really took nothing away from him. And I thought that bled to the rest of the team.
Also, the last 5 games. You take away the Milwaukee game, obviously Giannis struggled, going 5-16. But it feels like the size of these other teams are starting to bother the Warriors. Karl-Anthony Towns last Saturday night with Aaron Gordon, 38 points, getting into the paint. Toronto got into the paint. They dominated that category there. So the Warriors got to get a little more physical as well on the defensive end, especially at the rim.
I mean, physicality, yes. Bonte, they just looked more athletic. They looked like they were playing with more pace. The Hawks were faster down the court. Man, I don't think it's necessarily fully just an athleticism thing. I thought there was just times where the Warriors lost their man and guys were not rotating to the open guy. So you would help. One guy would rotate, they would pass the ball one more time, the Hawks would, and the Warriors, the last man would just forget to, or he would be preoccupied with something else. These are defensive principles that you can't have. You put a lot more emphasis on defense with Steph Curry out right now.
First game of an East Coast trip, maybe a few days in Miami will help rest the legs. Or maybe not.
You got 5 days in Miami. You can go either way, right? It's like the West Coast. It's like L.A., right? You don't want to spend 5 days in L.A. I'm not sure you want to spend 5 days in Miami.
Well, to get rest, you actually have to go to sleep.
Yeah. It's the city that never sleeps. They'll be in Miami tonight. I'm sorry, these guys are going to get to bed. They're grown, man. They can do what they do. But 5 days in Miami, that is a dangerous, dangerous thing as the Warriors had their 3-game road winning streak snapped at the hands of the Atlanta Hawks.